The financial and reputational backlash against Shadow President Elon Musk continues to spread, with severe hits to both Musk's personal net worth and Tesla's stock performance. It's gotten so bad that Donald Trump has desperately rushed to Musk's defense in public, as Musk's polling also continues to crater. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, it's getting pretty desperate for Elon Musk, which is good to see. So Mediaite is discussing this. We've got a clip to play, and we're going to unpack it together. But Mediaite reports that Trump is putting his money on Elon Musk. The commander-in-chief vowed to buy a brand new Tesla after his company's stock took a brutal 15% dive, as Trump blamed the drop on radical left lunatics engaged in an illegal and collusive boycott. We'll actually just read the tweet itself, and then we'll get into the rest of the article. To Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation, and he's doing a fantastic job. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and collusively boycott Tesla, one of the world's great automakers and Elon's baby, in order to attack and do harm to Elon and everything he stands for. They tried to do it to me at the 2024 presidential ballot box, but how did that work out? In any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as a show of confidence and support for Elon Musk, a truly great American. Why should he be punished for putting his tremendous skills to work in order to help make America great again? As Mike Nellis, a Democratic strategist, points out, there's a full-on coordinated attempt by MAGA World to save Tesla while his stock is in free fall. Trump is out there saying he's going to buy one. Hannity was hawking them last night. John Hannity of Fox News will probably cover that in a separate video. What happened to letting the free market decide? It's a great point by Mike Nellis. Of course, as we read the article, remember that most Republicans are not particularly principled, certainly not the politicians and the influencers. They never cared about free markets. They want to subsidize the rich and, socialize the costs to the poor. That's basically how they've wanted to approach these things. They definitely want government intervention in a way which benefits them. And that's precisely what you're seeing here from the leader of the free world on behalf of his shadow president and puppet master, Elon Musk. So what's the context for this? Since the beginning of the Trump administration, with which Musk is closely involved, sales have cratered in key global markets, with Tesla's European sales nearly halving in January and its China sales plummeting 49% in February. Germany, Tesla's biggest European market, saw a 76% drop. The company's tanking stock price, now at its lowest level since Trump's victory, has wiped out nearly $100 billion in market value and slashed Musk's net worth by over $105 billion. So that is devastating to Elon Musk, and I hope it continues. Musk faces mounting backlash over controversies tied to his government role and promotion of right-wing political parties in Europe. At home, his Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, has drawn fire for mass federal employee layoffs and cuts. Meanwhile, his political gestures, including a salute at Trump's inauguration that critics likened to a Nazi gesture, because it was, have ignited protests, leading to Tesla cars being defaced and dealerships vandalized. Trump's post came out hours after the billionaire's sit-down with Fox Business host Larry Kudlow, in which he admitted to facing great difficulty in running his businesses while also managing Doge for Trump. So, and of course, in response to this offer to buy a Tesla, Elon Musk says, "Thank you, Donald Trump, thank you." Pathetic stuff. And again, it's not just this. I mean, Donald Trump was on Air Force One the other day, and he, again, was asked about the credible reports, that there are serious tensions between Musk and the cabinet. And Trump has really struggled in responding to this in recent days. Like, it's been a real challenge trying to, proffer some sort of confidence and assurances. Like, oh, of course, everybody's on one page. This was probably his best response to it, in the sense that he didn't seem triggered by the question, even though he's been previously triggered by it, both on Truth Social and in front of reporters in the past. But again, not particularly convincing, especially when you consider just the facts as presented in terms of Doge's performance, Musk's polling, and we'll get to that in a second. But here's Donald Trump again trying to hype up Elon Musk, his shadow president.
Towards.
All four are good.
Mr. President, you have said there's no feud between your cabinet members and Elon Musk. You even had dinner with him last night, Secretary of State. However, tensions are high between your cabinet and Mr. Musk. How are you going to simmer down tensions? Does Mr. Musk need to back off?
Well, I don't think the tensions are high. Look, Elon's a very special person, and these cabinet people are special people. These are very successful people, or they wouldn't have gotten, they've attained the highest heights of government, and they I think they have a fantastic relationship to Elon. And Doge has been incredible. You know, hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud and abuse has been already found. And that doesn't mean they don't have a little bit of an argument here and there about something, or maybe personal arguments. There's not too many contract arguments. You know, contracts have been found. This is much more than just personnel. And we found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraudulent contracts, or very wasteful. But I think fraud. I think it's
Well, fraud, you actually have to prove fraud, right? It's a very specific word with a very specific definition. But yeah, so what's interesting is here you have Trump in a roundabout way saying, okay, there are some tensions, but it's really not a big deal. And Elon Musk is a very special person. Again, he's doing everything in his power to salvage the approval rating, the popularity, and the business interests of the man who perhaps more than anyone singularly got him elected, with the massive financial contributions and the contributions with respect to social media as well. But let's examine, okay, this is something that we've been talking about quite a bit on this show, this idea of Elon Musk's popularity, Doge's popularity. As the Austin American Statesman wrote this really good article, this idea that Musk is popular and Doge is popular, not really true, right? It's a canard. And this could also explain why Musk has been so, struggling so much. He seemed to be visibly distraught in a recent Fox News interview by his current financial interests, and seems to be all too aware of the fact that the public doesn't like him. But again, you hear so much cope from right-wing media and MAGA pundits. Actually, no, Musk is really popular, Doge is popular. But this is the reality. As Fox News viewers waited to hear Donald Trump begin his address to a joint session of Congress, commentator Larry Kudlow mused about what role Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency would play in Trump's speech. Quote, I wonder out loud how much Doge budget cutting will be in his speech, because it's actually polling very well, Kudlow said on March 4th. It's very popular. Kudlow served as the first director of the National Economic Council during Trump's first presidency. Doge, the Trump administration's cost-cutting agency headed by Elon Musk, has put hundreds of federal workers on leave, gained access to sensitive federal payment systems, and sought to shutter some federal agencies. Trump created the agency by executive order, and it's part of the executive branch. Is it as popular, as Kudlow said? In a statement to PolitiFact provided through Fox News, Kudlow said he was referring to a Harvard-Harris poll taken between February 19th and February 20th. The poll showed people agreed that Doge is making major government cuts, but it didn't ask whether people approved of those cuts. Respondents reported they are concerned about the group's access to sensitive information. Meanwhile, at least 6 other polls conducted since mid-February show less support for Doge. 2 polls found public ambivalence about Doge, and 4 showed opposition against it, outpacing support. We did not find polls that showed overwhelming support for Doge. The Harvard-Harris poll did not directly ask respondents about whether they supported or approved of Doge. In one question, they were asked, do you think there should be a U.S. government agency focused on efficiency initiatives or not? 72% said yes and 24% said no. But the question didn't specifically reference Doge. And of course, I'll say it before we continue. The notion of a Doge, in theory, the notion of the mandate of Doge, again, cut, waste, fraud, and abuse, I imagine would be overwhelmingly popular. But Kudlow, like Piers Morgan and so many others, Trump included, deliberately conflate 2 different things. The notion of Doge, the notion of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, and what we actually get, and the polls show that delta. In another question, respondents were asked whether Doge is helping make major government cuts in expenditures or not. 60% said it's making major cuts, and 40% said it isn't. But this question did not measure respondents' feelings about perceived cuts. Answers to the poll's other questions suggested the respondents had concerns about Doge. When asked, do you think government employees should have access to all information on government expenditures, including Americans' names, social security numbers, addresses, and incomes, 58% said Doge should not have such access. And when asked whether the executive branch or Congress should control how much the government spends its money, 58% said Congress. 2 other polls show mixed results. A CBS YouGov poll taken February 26 to 28 showed split sentiments. When asked what they think of Trump's effort to cut staff at federal agencies, 51% said they approve and 49% said they disapprove. A slight majority, 52%, said Musk and Doge have too much authority to cut federal workforce, while 33% said Musk and Doge have the right amount of authority, and 15% said too little. And on the access to sensitive data, 52% said Doge had too much access. An Economist/YouGov poll from February 23rd to 25th also found public sentiment to be split. When asked about the Trump administration's efforts to reduce federal agencies' budgets and staff, 43% said the efforts have gone too far. That was a plurality, but it was neck and neck with a combination of people answering about right or not gone far enough. This poll, too, had responses that offered warning signs about supports for Doge. When respondents were asked how much influence do you want Elon to have within Donald Trump's administration, 16% said a lot, 24% said a little, and a plurality of 45% said none at all. And 57% said they were very or somewhat concerned that Musk would have conflicts of interest, which he has, right? We discussed in a previous video that FAA contract, right? So at the same time that Musk is overseeing a purge of the Federal Aviation Administration, an FAA contract has been awarded to Starlink, one of Musk's companies. That is conflict of interest, or maybe it was SpaceX. It was SpaceX or Starlink, one of the two, both of these being Musk interests. 4 polls show that Musk and Doge are unpopular, and it goes examples: a Quinnipiac poll, a Washington Post Ipsos poll, an Emerson College poll, a Marist poll for NPR and PBS. So, yeah, at the end of the day, the overwhelming weight of the polling data suggests that Doge is unpopular and Musk is unpopular. But Donald Trump is desperate to salvage Musk's popularity because, again, Musk is effectively the shadow president. We've seen evidence, compelling evidence, that Trump is truly intimidated by Musk and doesn't have any leverage over him to rein him in. And I imagine he's also smart enough, as stupid as Trump is, to try to make sure that this is a mutually rewarding endeavor. And if Musk is unpopular and is an anchor around Trump's neck or feet, as he's trying to stay above water with respect to polling, that's going to be bad for Trump in the end as well. So it's also a self-serving, self-interested maneuver by Trump as well. But again, it just goes to show how desperate they are to redeem and rehabilitate Musk's image. But so far, it's not working. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.